Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tiger Eye. We've got a great episode for you. Tomorrow, PTO is selling Chick-fil-A biscuits. They will be $5, so make sure to get one of those. Every school needs their custodians. This week, Anthony is taking a closer look at ours and all that they do. Ford had its very first homecoming dance in a long time this year, thanks to our student council. Caitlin is finding out what preparations were needed to make the dance possible this year. And Lila is looking at what skills our student body needs to have to prepare for our future. But first, let's give it to Anthony.
Over 160 hours each week is spent making sure that Ford is in its best shape possible. This week, we're going to be taking a deeper dive into our custodians and their lives outside of school. But the job isn't without its challenges.
We have a lot of objects in the floors that could cause some trip hazards and stuff like that, so I always like to make sure I go in and get my room swept up real good, keep everything up out of the floor, and stay on my job as much as possible.
Every morning I come in and I clean all the bathrooms, and I have classrooms after I get all those done during class periods. I'll go in and clean classrooms.
Well, the biggest challenge is when I clean up the fields, that the spectators leave a lot of their trash in the stands.
The hardest part of the day for some of our custodians is before everyone else comes in, so we can have a clean school ready for everybody.
My busiest part would be first thing in the morning. I have like about 5 or 6 classes that I hit first thing in the morning.
Between 4 and probably 6 before everybody gets here.
Every job has its rough spots. Dealing with vandalism has definitely been one in recent years.
Honestly, I done the bathrooms at that point in time, and yes, it was awful with the TikTok challenges. But this year I have noticed so far, I don't think we really have nowhere near the problems that we've had.
Hard parts of the job don't outweigh all of the good. Supportive coworkers makes the job all the more rewarding.
I like that the administrators are there, they're there for anything you need. Pep talks, pats on the shoulders.
Well, my kids go here and we get along with the administration and some teachers here, but we have a good time.
For Susan and Tabitha, family is a very important part of their life, spending a lot of their time outside of Ford with them.
I'm very family oriented. My grandbabies, if I could keep them 24/7, I would. Needless to say, the grandbabies, they will drive you crazy, but Mama loves it, so.
I have grandchildren I play with outside of work. That's about all I do. I love being outside. I love playing with my grandbabies.
Family isn't the only thing that keeps custodians occupied outside of school.
Well, I'm a full-time pastor and also a beekeeper. And I do some other work. I work at the funeral home, so I'm a full-time guy.
Thank you to all of our custodians for all the work that they do to make our school beautiful. Your work does not go unappreciated. Heather?
Thanks, Anthony, and thanks to our custodians for all of the work that you do, from your daily schedule to mopping up after the homecoming dance. Our student council put their own elbow grease into cleaning up after the dance, but also had to prepare it. Caitlin was there every step of the way to give us an inside look of the planning and work it took to get our homecoming dance to go off without a hitch.
Last weekend, we had our first homecoming dance in years here at Ford. Bringing in around $2,300, the dance was a huge success with our student body. Our student government, along with Mrs. Shook, our student council sponsor, tell us what they thought about the dance's end product.
First homecoming dance in years. I wouldn't change a thing about it. I think it went great. And moving on, build it up from where it started.
It wasn't bad. I mean, the lights were kind of a little blinding, so it was a little difficult to see.
I wish we'd had more drinks. We ran out of drinks and kids were still thirsty. And I wish it wasn't so hot in the cafeteria.
Keeping those challenges in mind will make our next dance even better. Our student leaders share some of their experiences preparing for the dance.
I sold the tickets for the homecoming. During fourth lunch, I sold tickets, and we sold a lot of tickets.
Me and Alyssa, my vice president, we bought a lot of decorations for everything.
Our student council and Mrs. Shook continue on, telling us some of the challenges they faced during the dance.
The hardest part was just trying to encourage people, because people were just loud and you wouldn't listen to us.
We started decorating at 12, and then we didn't think it was going to take that long, but then we had a balloon arch that we had, and that thing took the longest, and it was really difficult.
The most challenging was to get the posters done in time because we had only 2 meetings that week.
There's just a lot of moving parts to putting on a dance, from finding a DJ to buying snacks to decorating to just so many things that have to happen.
Spending around $500 on expenses for the dance, Carly Fountain and Mrs. Shook walk us through raising money and budgeting for other projects.
We had Hat Day, and we raised money through Hat Day to buy snacks and stuff and drinks to have for everybody.
Student Council is going to roll that right back into doing things for the students here at Ford. So we'll do probably another tailgate if Student Council wants to. We're definitely doing another dance.
We appreciate all the effort our student council put into preparing the dance and are excited for all their new projects. Back to you, Heather.
Thanks, Caitlin. I had a blast at the dance and hope we have one next year, since it'll be my last before I graduate. I'm hoping to take some of the life skills I've learned at school into my future. Lila is focusing on some of these skills to find them in our student body to see how they will be able to adapt to situations for their next step in life.
This year, Ford will start taking part in a new program called Durable Skills. Starting this week, students will complete activities during Tiger Time that will help teach them about these skills. Ms. Jimenez and Ms. Pitts explain the purpose of these activities.
So Durable Skills give a better portrait of a graduate for North Carolina. It is a statewide program that we have taken on in order to ensure that we have 21st century ready graduates.
So it just gives you maybe more tools and makes you more confident on how to resolve and communicate.
New skills will be introduced to students monthly. In October, one skill we will be learning about is adaptability. Seniors Blake Powell and Alyssa James explain why they think adaptability is so important.
It is very important to be adaptable because you never know what's going to come your way. You always got to be prepared for whatever situation you might find yourself in.
It's important to be able to adapt because if you don't, it can make conflict whenever stuff doesn't go your way or something doesn't go the way you thought it would.
The other skills that will be introduced to students in October are critical thinking and personal responsibility. How are each of these helpful?
Thinking critically has helped me because you always got to be prepared for a situation and seeing both sides of a situation.
I think it's important to be responsible because in the future after high school, you'll need it for when you got in the real world and you need a job and showing up on time and stuff like that.
Success for students after graduation is the main goal of the Durable Skills program. Regardless of what your path looks like after high school, these skills will be useful every day.
Everybody can graduate. We're not pushing you out into the world without these skills because we know what you're going to need beyond these 4 walls.
Durable Skills will help all students here at Ford succeed after graduation. We're looking forward to starting these activities this week. Back to you, Heather.
Thanks, Lila. Well, that's all for this week. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, and we'll see you the next.